Well, hello and welcome to my latest video. I'm wearing a cap, but I'm not doing an unboxing. What am I doing? I'm talking about FTP. Yes, you've read about it, you've heard about it, you've seen it in the news. You want to get it, you think you've got it, you know what it is, but you're not sure. So, I've been doing some research and I've been finding out about FTP. So, here we go. FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol, and it is a way that files get transferred over the internet from computer to computer. So, now you know, and now you know how to get it. But I did a bit more research. I looked at Wikipedia, I looked at Everythingpedia, I looked at if it's on the internetpedia, and it doesn't mean file transfer protocol at all. It means feet take priority. If you go to a chiropodist and you say, I've got a problem in my ear, they'll say FTP. If you go to a chiropodist and say, I've got a problem with my nose, they'll say FTP. And you'll say, what is this FTP? What does FTP mean? And they'll say, feet take priority, right? A chiropodist does feet, they don't do ears, they don't do nose. If you want ears, you need a earopodist. And if you want nose, you need a nosopodist. But with a chiropodist, FTP. No, I thought, no, that's not that. Come on, don't be silly, Julian. That's not it. So I did some more research, and I found, right, now this is history. Back in the 17th century, in the United Kingdom, Catholicism was regarded as a bad thing, and lots of priests used to hide in little cupboards or places within manor houses. They were called priest holes. But if the priests were discovered, then they were given a choice. They could either watch three complete series of Mrs. Brown's Boys, or they could be burnt at the stake. And most of them chose the latter option, as you would. And what it was called, this activity, was called FTP, Find the Priest. So there were groups of vigilantes, militia, as they were called in those days, who used to go out and they used to find the priest. And when they found the priest, he would either be, or she, no, not she, he would either be burnt at the stake or forced to watch 3 series of Mrs. Brown's Boys. But I thought, no, this isn't about history. This isn't about 17th century Catholicism in the United Kingdom. Julian, what are you going on about? So I did a bit more research, and I found FTP actually stands for Faffing Takes Practice. Faffing is just, well, faffing is what you do when you kind of, you don't want to get going. It's a bit like procrastination. You know, you're going to go out on a bike ride, so you're faffing about. You're trying to decide on the helmet to wear. You're trying to decide on the shoes to wear. And what you're secretly hoping is it's going to start raining. And then you don't have to go out on your bike at all. You can just stay indoors and watch Julian's YouTube videos. So, but faffing, you know, it doesn't come naturally. You know, people go to faffing college, they go to faffing school, they have faffing evening classes, they have faffing homeschooling in order to get good at it. I'm pretty good at it. I've got an A level in faffing, so faffing takes practice. No, I thought, no, that's not FTP, Julian. You're not getting it. You're not getting to the heart of the matter. So I did a bit more historical research. And I found that back in the 14th century, there was a game that the peasants used to play. They didn't have Monopoly, they didn't have YouTube. They had internet, but you know, YouTube was in early days then. But what they did have was pigs. And I don't know if you've noticed, but a pig doesn't give a shit. Basically, a pig doesn't care less. It just, you know, eats, and it, you know, it lies there in its own mess, and it has a dump, and that's it. So not much phases a pig. So the game that the peasants developed was FTP, frighten the pig. And what they would do is they would sneak around, and then they would leap out, you see, and they'd try and frighten the pig, or they'd wear masks or caps like this, or silly hats or beanies or something like that. And what they were trying to do was frighten the pig, you see, and this would happen. The pig would look at them like that in a kind of pig-like look, you know, like what? Not that pigs talked even back in the 13th century. So the pig would go, what? And they'd say, you know, we're trying to frighten you. You say, gotcha, 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 gotcha. And the pig would go, what the fuck? You know, and go back into the sty and have a dump. And I thought, nah, that's not FTP. So I did a bit more research, and I found that in Hawaii, one of the is it one of the states of the United States? It is, isn't it? Very popular pizza dish, which is ham and pineapple. And one of the things that the cooks and the chefs developed in Hawaii during quiet times was a game that they called Follow the Pineapple. So a pineapple would be cut down from the tree or the bush, and it would go to the cutting up factory, and the slices and the bits of the pineapple would end up on the pizza. And what the people had to do in Hawaii, I mean, there wasn't much else to do, was that Hawaii 5-0 was finished. It was follow the pineapple and see which pizza would end up. And then you could backtrack, you could see, you could do a kind of organic, what do you call it, soil to plate. Do you know what I mean? Like you buy some meat in Marks and Spencer's and you can track it back to the farm. Well, this was follow the pineapple. You have a pizza with a bit of pineapple on it, and you could track it back to the tree and the person who chopped it down. I thought, no, that's not it, Julie. You're not getting to the heart of the matter. So fine. I watched a video on GCN. Yes, folks, I'm afraid it's a competitor, but you know, if you're going to watch somebody else apart from me, I don't mind if you watch GCN. So I watched a GCN video, and FTP, they said functional threshold power, and now I know what it is, and now you know what it is. FTP stands for functional threshold power, and don't you feel better because of that? And just to save you the trouble of watching a GCN video, I will tell you what it means. It is the amount of power you can generate through a bicycle over an hour, okay? And it's usually measured by a test where for you do a warm-up, and then for 20 minutes you just you thrash your bollocks out, or your lady parts if you're a lady, you thrash your bollocks out on the bike for 20 minutes, and then you take 95% of that number, the watts that you've done, and that is your FTP. And that is a key metric if you're training, it's a key metric if you're on Zwift, it's a key metric if you're into key metrics. So you want to know, don't you? You want to know what my FTP is. Yes, you want to know. The FTP of a 64-year-old man who makes silly videos in his garage, and you've made it this far, so I'm gonna tell you. My FTP is 265, which is not bad, actually. It's not bad for my amount. I know it's not, you know, it's not. Okay, you know, please don't leave a comment, right? Please don't leave a comment saying, oh, it's not that good. And please don't leave a comment telling me what your FTP is. Because you know what? Nobody gives a shit, right? And I don't expect you to give a shit about what my FTP is. I mean, why give a shit about what FTP is, full stop? Except it's important. We want to know what people's FTP is because it's a key metric. Personally, I prefer to frighten the pig. But if you want to know my number, 265. Read it and weep. Thanks for watching. See you next time.